Hello everyone, another GA Cash is starting, the podcast that was born to simplify aquatic management. So the conversation here is from manager to manager, everyone who puts their skin at risk in this market. So here we are with our two hosts from PodCast, Rafael Madormo and Mauro Maniglia. Now, Rafael, more than 30 years of experience.
Yeah. I've been working in this market for over 30 years as owner of 4025 and already organizing events, both in the area of technical or management training and also in water safety campaigns for about 13, 14 years now. So that adds up and gives us a little experience to be able to exchange, and we operate strongly in the market both in Brazil and abroad, talking to managers on a daily basis. Gives us a good idea that we want to share with you.
That's right.
We are also with Mauro Maniglia, more than 30 years, right, Mauro?
Yes, we are here in Araxá, Minas Gerais. 32 years that Grupo Mergulho has been operating here in our city. We have 3 units with swimming pools, 2 units with fitness facilities. So it's been 32 years of learning, developing, and doing this cool management that we want to share here in this GeeCast project, bringing you our experience, what worked, what didn't it work so well. The important thing is to share, talk about management, which is something that many people have some difficulty with, and we are here to help, to share.
That's it. The chat today is about customer experience. So we already talked a little bit about this in the other episodes, but today the episode is exclusively to talk about it. So for us to talk a little, what is the customer experience inside our gyms, inside our schools? So we have to look at that. Nowadays, the customer culture in the center is very important, very widespread. But we are going to talk a little bit about our market, how it is. So I would like to ask Rafael first, what do you think is the real importance of the customer experience right there on the factory floor inside the swimming schools, right?
It's real life.
So nowadays, for some time now, but today in a much more present way, if you don't pay attention to this, you're out of the game. You have to look at the customer, understand what he needs, his needs and desires, and deliver that. In the past, we had a model, a market, most markets, in which the person created a product or service, chose a target audience, and that's fine. This is what I offer, and everything is fine. In the new reality, with the customer at the center, the centrality of the customer, which is the current concept, you need to understand and deliver what he wants. And today the customer has been evolving, and if you don't pay attention to this, you will have a delayed service, a delayed delivery. And that, as today there are many options, unlike in the past, today the market is much more seller than buyer. The seller market is when you have a lot of people offering for a group of people to buy. In the past, you had a lot of people wanting to buy and a smaller number of people offering. So today you have to adapt with agility very quickly. So conceptually, you have to understand the customer's needs and wants and deliver. So for each client today, you have to have a customized service. And for us, but how am I going to do that? It's pretty complicated, right? How am I going to understand each one, and is it possible? We don't teach. We don't know your teachers. Our teachers don't know the needs of each client. He understands and he tries to deliver those sensations through the water that the client came for, whether it be a baby with the mother inside, all this relationship that is created, or an adult, a teenager, a child, an elderly person. You have to understand what he is looking for there and deliver it. That's why it's essential that we monitor this through data, which can be data that we'll capture from the moment the client arrives in roles, which you'll put in your program. You'll use and look for it, as this is a more organized and formal issue, like what happens on a daily basis, that your teacher has to be capturing what happens to that group of clients and individualizing this service. This is already done naturally. What we have to do is show the teachers the importance of this and that in some way. A method is created so that you can do this, so that you can attend to your desire or your need. That's up to each one of them. So this is the main aspect, the delivery of the service that the customer came for. And another factor that is very important, not always what we believe we are selling, is what the customer is buying. We think we sell swimming lessons. Today, no one buys swimming lessons anymore. People are there for many things. A father who is buying swimming lessons for his son is buying safety, he is buying development, he is buying integration. He might even be buying status because your swimming school, your gym is very well regarded in the neighborhood, and he doesn't care about the rest. He just wants to have his son there to say at the club or to friends or to the neighbor that he takes classes at diving, which is the best gym there is, and that's a form of status. So you have to understand the motivation of each one to be able to understand, to deliver. And in the case of children, when we are talking about children, we can never forget, right? When we sell to children, we are talking about two audiences. Who consumes the service is the child, and who pays for the service is the adult. Yes, and needs are usually invariably different. What does the child want in a class? She usually wants to have fun. She wants to have friends. She wants to fit in. If she is a child or in pre-adolescence that the group does, it is very important. So I need to understand this. And there is even a teacher who understands this and know that she wants to be part of a group. And how do I do that? Right? So understanding the customer's needs and desires is fundamental. Putting the customer at the center is fundamental. So finally, I think we have to be aware that today we no longer sell swimming lessons, training sessions. You sell sensations across water. This makes a lot of difference because just selling swimming lessons, that's a joke. Everyone sells.
And truth.
So you need, for the group you chose to serve, because we already defined who our target audience is, for that audience, I need to understand it very clearly. I need it through the data, through the whole process that I have, to understand him better and better so that I can assist him and make him loyal, that he keeps his whole process within our business. And then there are several stages that we can go into more. Mauro can talk a little more about the entire customer journey and this whole process.
Cool.
And customer experience?
There is an indicator that shows a lot if this experience is being positive or negative, that the person continues in the gym, that he renews his plan, right? So how do you measure if you're getting that customer experience right? It's your renewal rate, right? If it's monthly, every month the person is still there, it's worth it, it's still there. If it's from the plan, renew the plan. So for you to measure whether you're doing this customer experience well, take a look at your percentage of renewal. If it is much below 60, there is a problem there. Take a look. If it is the more, the better. The higher it is, the better the renewal and the customer experience, okay? And where does this client renewal begin? Good pool, good locker room, good teacher. Go up a little bit.
What is your process?
What is your methodology? How do you do this on a daily basis?
Do you have planning?
The professor follows, demonstrates results. All of this is part of the client's experience. So there in your gym, let's start at the base of the locker room. Go. Locker room, fundamental inside a gym. It's clean. It smells good. The person will arrive from her house. We are talking about the experience. She will take off her clothes, put on her swim trunks, or bigger, will step on the floor, go to her gym. This has to be clean, sanitized, right? Organized is basic. This is basic. But if you don't do it, it's a very bad experience. It starts there in the locker room, right? Then you entered your pool, the quality of the water, the temperature of the water, the transparency of the water. It's all part of the experience. And then it's the class itself. It's the heart. It's the delivery of the service. That's where the person will feel good, whether it's a baby or the father accompanying the baby. Pool 1, pool 2. So a beautiful process, a cool methodology, a teacher who is committed to lending that service in a good, humorous way. He is fun because if we talk about children swimming, especially, the teacher has to have that profile. So it's a very good experience for the child, right? And we are delivering the result. You have an evaluation. You showed that he evolved from the day he arrived to a certain period that you are evaluating. Then the father will know, the adult will know, that you enter the gym for two things important. If you don't know how to swim, you learn to swim from the very beginning. You will start slowly with your entire methodological process, right? And then you learn to swim, right? You can have an adult client. A baby is a teenager, so the adult wants to learn, but also wants to condition himself. Are you giving this to him? Is he realizing this? Because this is the audience we serve. Children from babies to teenagers, then they disappear a lot, right? After being a teenager, we don't have much more like 15, 16 years old. Most gyms have little. Then comes the adults, the gym ladies. This entire list of clients has their specific experience to realize that that gym, that teacher, that methodology works and is worth renewing.
And what is our quest?
Our search is more integral because there is this technical part which you have to deliver. It is the basics. And there are also other sensations, other experiences, perhaps also outside the pool, because everything is integrated in the customer's mind at the time he's saying, yes, I want to continue. Yes, I will renew. It is a great mix of sensations, of perceptions, of results that will make him continue in the gym.
This is our big challenge.
It's him not to be discouraged. It's him not to miss. Usually swimming academies vary recurrently. We have seen twice a week, and even in certain places in Brazil, once a week.
So you see, you're talking about customer experience in practice, in academia.
If he goes to your gym once a week for 45 minutes, which is the standard practice class, or a maximum of twice a week, then 95% of people already include once a week or twice a week. You cannot make a mistake. My friend can't make a mistake. It has to be a very good experience because it's a very short time that he goes there, right? So it doesn't matter if he's arriving there at 6 p.m. If 125 people have passed in the locker room, he goes there at that moment. Only the experience has to be good. It has to arrive. It has to be smelling clean. That's why a gym is a great gear. All of your employees are one big cog. The saleswoman is there. She already received well. She came to the address, says by name, says hello, arrived, goes inside, has a nice experience in the changing room. You have a locker. You are clean. Everything is okay. Because Sunga went there, had a class, a nice teacher, an intelligent teacher, a nice class, well planned, and then he composed that really nice moment. Then he goes back to the locker room. He has a shower, hot water, everything is fine, everything is happening. He leaves happy. Emma, the moment he was there for 45 minutes once or twice, it's very small. And what we also want, and it is very much in vogue today, is to connect this person more time inside the gym.
Like this.
When he's not at the gym, he receives cool information through his social networks. He receives things that will improve his life. If you're an adult, it's on one level.
If it's another level, it's another level of child.
So the child is interacting and wants to stay in a gym that gives an experience inside the pool and also outside the pool. This is a situation that we even have in our DNA there, sharing with all of you here the history of diving, which we always wanted to bring other information, other sensations, other interactions beyond the pool. Because the pool gives you the knowledge, the skills, but then there's the water safety part, right? Who already had those classes, the biggest class in the world, which provoked everyone's interaction, talking about drowning, which is an important part. It's an important experience, right? A concern every parent has, right? And he got it at the academy, right? And there were other moments of increasing the level of information you pass on, which the father will be very happy about, which are things that have to do with water in the case of safety, or also in the environmental case. Water is present in our daily lives all over the world. So we who have a gym take advantage of these hooks and bring this good experience, which is an experience that we have here at the gym with great success, right? In this children's audience, and now we are bringing newer and newer things. Isn't that it, Jonas?
We are in a very good position.
We always thought a lot about this part of the experience, the child's experience. So, seeing this transformation that has been taking place, of the generation itself being a different generation, we even talked about it in previous podcasts. It's not the same kids who arrive at the units today. They are not the same behaviors, the same consumption. They are different minds, they are different behaviors. So there's no way we can keep doing the same things with different people with different children, so it's based a lot on this issue of experience. Technical part methodology. What is extremely important also in this one is really the reason that schools were born, teaching how to swim, water safety, everything else. But the children need to be engaged. The children need to love that they're. Children need to want to be in the next class.
And the sensations they come for.
Exactly.
And that needs to be in their memory in a totally positive way. So we created 4 years ago the Enchanted Kingdom of Azulia. With that in mind, looking for other places that provided magical experiences such as Disney, it was one that we always watched a lot, saw a lot, got many ideas to see what they did, because the experience there is magical, because it cannot be here too. And then we arrived at this issue of the child's experience aiming at the child. She passes, and so, when she enters a swimming school, diving in this case, in these last few years, she imagines that she would be entering a magical world, an enchanted world of the Kingdom of Azulia. And then, even in the licensing that we have already started, we are taking this to other gyms to expand this experience, in which in every gym she enters that has Azulia's kingdom, she really imagines that she is entering an enchanted world. Because her experience is magical, for us to focus on what? How long will she want to stay in that gym through that magical experience? So this is another connotation. It's a different mentality than just teaching how to swim. Just teaching how to swim is already a lot, right? We are not saying that, but you can also teach swimming by providing great experiences, right?
Maybe something really different in the lives of those children.
So I think this whole process that we are talking about here, Azulia, is the result of the understanding that you had of what your audience was looking for. Not only the infant, but also the parent. Because you sought engagement throughout a whole development, because Azulia, for those who don't know it, it may seem like there are only half a dozen characters there. It's not that. Azulia has a whole context that was created. It has a whole story that is integrated with the classes. It is a giant process which is not done overnight and involves many professionals. Nice. It's not just, and that's a little bit of what we've already talked about in other podcasts, the benchmark issue he mentioned here. He went to look at what Disney does, how it does it. Oh, it's a Disney?
Nobody is saying that.
But you are looking at a reference and looking for it.
Yeah, you have to aim for the moon, right?
Exactly.
Get it wrong, you'll be up there in the stars.
Exactly.
And the point we are seeing is because they understood within the customer's journey how they could evolve in the service.
Because they already had a very good degree of satisfaction with what they were doing. But they felt the need to go one step further. Because the new generations of children were coming with other needs, with other desires, with another form of engagement. And this is very important. And I would also like to draw attention to something else that, like, within the analyses that we do, the swimming school, it invariably, or most swimming schools, delivers a very good service.
Yes, yeah.
On average, we deliver.
We are committed to teaching how to swim, teach, children evolve, such. In this aspect, within the customer's journey, the service, most of the time, is being delivered. However, when we arrive in this world that we are seeing today, we see that it is the fig, then, the relationship. Today you live in a digital world and an offline world at the same time. You're here, we have the cell phone next door, and a little while you're on the internet, and a little while you're seeing it here, so you're kind of without borders.
And the swimming schools, within the customer journey, one of the big problems they have is that they cannot have the same level of service that they offer in the physical world, in the digital world.
And this is something that we have to pay close attention to.
Why?
The same customer of ours, he is not only our customer, he compares us with Amazon. How do I make my purchase on Amazon digitally? Why can't I do this at my swim school? Before anyone thinks like this, but here in my reality it doesn't work. Today it is already possible. There are even schools that are doing this, gyms that do this. So we have to start looking at that within this customer's journey. It doesn't just start when he's at your point of sale. It starts in his relationship with the brand since he decided back there why he chose to that, all the steps he takes, how he does it, how he relates, how he is attended to, how he is doing today. Most people don't have time, how it speeds up the process. Oh no, to renew the registration is a struggle. You have to do it. Why can't I do it digitally? So we have to be very attentive to this because this is all part of it. Okay? Anyone who manages to deliver the good service they deliver at the pool with new ways of delivering, which are serving children, but who also manages to cover the issue of the online world in a better way, will certainly be in tune with what is happening. And this is one of the points that I see that swimming schools are not paying attention to.
The world is evolving. Swimming schools abroad today are more aware of this. They already do it. There is a case in England there of a group that you can do the entire renovation in less than a minute.
So this already exists in our market. Oh, but England. Friend, today there is no longer England, Araxa, Sergipio.
There isn't.
We are talking here, and what we are talking about here, I already know what is happening on the other side of the world, and suddenly here we are talking that it may be influencing people in other places.
So the world today is a village, not much of that.
Marshall McLuhan, way back in the 60s, was already saying that global village, and that happened too. So we have to be very attentive to the customer's journey, understanding that the customer is not just the swim school customer, he is a customer who interacts with various services. I recently had in a city in the interior of Rio Grande do Sul, Teutonia, that 2 restaurants I went there could be anywhere in the world. Even one of them is already franchised and is in several capitals, in several cities in Brazil.
And it appeared in Teotonio.
So it's not because you're in a smaller market that your customer there isn't aware of what's going on. Sometimes your client knows more than you because he consulted on the internet. He knows more than you because he is looking at swimming schools in other places and is comparing you with that. So within all these processes that we are talking about from experience, the way to assist, I think that the point that the swimming schools have to look at clearly are basically 2. The first is what was said about Azulia, the experience you are delivering. Are you connecting with your customer today, or are you thinking your customer is that customer from 10 years ago? And the second, this question of being connected literally with your client outside your environment, which in reality is no longer outside your environment. It is another environment that you have to interact with the same quality that you interact in the physical world, which is in the digital world.
And what is referring me here in this reflection? Well, in other episodes we did back then, we talked about manager mindset. about an advanced contemporary mentality, a mentality that makes you nonconformist.
We talked about this in episodes ago.
So if you're within this profile of a sharper mentality, what is happening, modernity, behavior change, you are fine. If you're here watching us, and this has brought you a reflection that your mentality is very closed, your angle of vision is very narrow. That's why we're here. To wake you up, manager. To wake you up. New things happening, whether you are going to do it or not, but you have to be on top of the news, behavior, customers, managers. We are here sharing a successful case, a method that was thought of a long time ago, that has been growing for a long time, thinking and acting in this spectrum here today, in this subject of today, which is the customer experience. So if we are already doing things that are working, you improve, you interact, you deepen. We've been thinking about this since 2007, this customer experience outside the pool, right? So there are many years since 2007. So making all of this happen, always thinking that way, open-minded, expanded-minded, minded towards what that person who is showing up every day, someone new at your gym, doesn't have the visits.
Do you pay attention to visits?
Then you put her inside the gym? Then this person became your fan? Is she talking about you?
Why?
Because her mind, her mentality, she's progressive, she's daring, she's a perfectionist. She doesn't settle for that, let's say, routine way of doing things. She seeks novelty, seeks the contemporaneity of things, of minds, of behaviors. So that's what we're talking about here. And nothing is more important than focusing on the one who pays you, on the customer, on the one who speaks well of you, on the one who is faithful, on the one who is the propagator of what you do. That will make your business perennial, your business satisfactory. You will be a happy person. Your team will be happy.
And profitable.
And profitable, which is what we look for, right, folks?
And make our dreams come true through these people that we serve.
So that's what...
So, just a detail of what Mauro said that I think is important.
With the change in society's behavior, which has been changing a lot in recent years at a very fast pace, there is something that we are realizing more and more. There were people who in the past, and there are people who still control it. How did you find out about my swimming school, my gym?
I was passing by and decided to go in.
You have to think of it this way. The internet is now your facade. I'm passing by, I'm looking for the school, and I saw it. I decided to go in.
And what impression does he have?
So the person doesn't... It's decreasing the one who looks there and sees. He even has people who see it. But today, more and more, your online personality is being demonstrated there. And if we don't pay attention to that with the new generations that are coming, today who buys swimming school for their children, or who attends or even pays for their parents, is a public called the millennials, who are between your 25, 35, 30, and 40 years. These people are already people who live here.
Right.
So his buying habit is already very different. If you're still just thinking, I'm not saying that it's to stop looking at your facade, because that's part of it. In service, there's something called physical proof. So you provide the service there, which is intangible, but you have some physical evidence, which is its installation, its cleaning, is the relationship there is. This is very important. But you cannot have a different pattern. More and more you have to approximate what is physical to what is digital.
Because it's just one thing.
So it's no longer anyone's job not to pay attention to the internet. Inform, but I don't sell it on the internet. Yes, it sells. Maybe you don't make the license plate. That's another thing you'll also have to do, but you sell. People are passing in front of you all the time. You are missing opportunities.
Nice. Even the question you mentioned about facade, sometimes people see your facade, they write down your name and look for you on the internet.
Exactly. She wants in.
What? Exactly.
So let's get to the end of another episode, shall we? It went well. This one flew by, right? How we always get that feeling that there is a lot to talk about. And there's a lot of episodes too, right? We are more and more bringing interesting subjects, right? And those who want to know more too, get to know better about Azula, just go to the @Capital Mergulho on Instagram, and you can send a message there or understand a little better.
Beauty.
So thank you, manager, who has been accompanying us there. To the next.
A hug.